It is 11:47 p.m. Your thumb is doing 40 miles an hour down a stranger's Instagram grid, and you have never in your life felt so calm and so doomed at the same time. You are not stalking. You are checking in on someone. You are just curious. You are seeing what they're up to, even though what they are up to, according to a post from 2023, is holding a burrito at a wedding you were not invited to. Your thumb slips. Somewhere in the universe, a small red heart ignites on a photo from 3 years ago, and your soul leaves your body through the top of your skull. This is not an accident. This is a 5-alarm civilizational event, and your weirdly defensive brain knows it, because your brain has already fast-forwarded through the 5 stages of grief and landed directly on stage 6, which is texting your best friend in all capital letters with no punctuation. Let's be honest about what just happened, because your nervous system certainly is not going to be honest about it. You did not like a photo. You accidentally left a physical, time-stamped, cryptographically permanent fingerprint at the scene of a crime you didn't even know you were committing, 36 months deep into someone's account, at an hour when only raccoons and people in emotional crisis are awake. Researchers at the Fictional Bureau of Digital Body Language conducted a study in which they tracked the physiological response of 214 volunteers the exact moment they realized they had deep-liked an old photo. The average heart rate spiked to 142 beats per minute, which is roughly the cardiovascular equivalent of being chased by a bear, except the bear is a small, red heart icon, and it cannot be outrun, because it has already been seen. Why does this feel like getting caught mid-robbery instead of just an oopsie on an app? Because a like isn't just a like anymore. A like is a time-stamped confession. It says, I was here. I scrolled past your entire personality. I saw the haircut. I saw the X in the background of 4 photos ago that you conveniently never deleted. I know things now. And the worst part, the part your brain replays in slow motion at 3 a.m. for absolutely no reason, is that there is no ambiguity in a deep like. If you like their most recent post, that's normal. That's a courtesy. That's basically a handshake. But a like on a photo from 3 years ago cannot be explained by, oh, it just popped up in my feed. Because Instagram does not, has never, and will never randomly surface a picture of someone's 2023 birthday brunch into your main feed. Everyone knows this. You know this. They know this. The algorithm knows this. And frankly, the algorithm is judging you the hardest of all. So what do? You do what every human being trapped in this exact scenario has done since the like button was invented. You unlike it in a full-body panic, as if speed alone can rewind time, as if Instagram servers are going to go, oh, never mind, false alarm. We'll pretend that notification never fired. It already fired. It fired the second your thumb made contact. You are not covering your tracks. You are performing a small, sad ritual for your own emotional comfort, like blowing on a birthday candle after someone's already seen you make the wish. A team of fictional behavioral scientists at the Institute for Regrettable Taps ran an experiment where they gave 90 participants access to a fake social media profile and told them to browse casually. 83% accidentally liked something within the first 4 minutes. Of those 83%, 100% of them unliked it within 1.2 seconds, and 100% of those people also reported, quote, genuinely believing this made a difference. It did not make a difference. The notification bell had already rung. You cannot unring a bell. You can only stand next to the bell looking extremely calm, while everyone in the room stares at you. There's a particular kind of dread reserved for realizing the person might have push notifications on. Push notifications mean this isn't a they'll probably never check their activity tab situation. This is a their phone just lit up on their nightstand at midnight with your name on it situation. Somewhere, in real time, they are looking at their screen going, why does this person care about a photo from a Tuesday in 2023? And you are lying in bed next to your own phone, staring at the ceiling, doing the mental math on whether you can plausibly claim your account was hacked by a stranger who is somehow also extremely interested in this specific individual's old birthday photos. Here's the counterintuitive twist nobody tells you. Unliking the photo actually makes you look worse, not better. Because now there are 2 notifications instead of 1. First, so-and-so liked your photo from 2023. Then, 90 seconds later, the like just vanishes, which means not only were you deep in their archive at midnight, you also had a full emotional crisis about it in real time, live, on their notification feed, like a tiny public breakdown they get a front row seat to. You didn't erase the crime. You added a confession and a getaway car crash to the crime scene. A separate fictional field study, conducted by researchers at the Center for Applied Awkwardness, tracked what people actually did in the 60 seconds after a deep like. 41% immediately liked a recent, unrelated photo to bury the old one in activity, a maneuver researchers termed the decoy like. 29% considered deleting their entire account. 9%, and this is real, or at least fictionally real, actually did delete their account, only to make a new one 4 days later and immediately go check that same person's profile again. The behavior isn't rational. Nobody said any of this was rational. It's a compulsion wearing the outfit of casual curiosity. Think about the sheer architecture of the situation for a second, because it deserves it. You went 3 years deep into a timeline. That is not scrolling. That is archaeology. That is carbon dating someone's personality via their 2023 vacation photos, their old haircut, their ex who's mysteriously vanished from every caption since. And the tragedy is, you weren't even doing anything wrong by human standards. Curiosity about people is ancient. Cavemen definitely stared at the cave next door, wondering what their neighbors were up to. The only difference is cavemen didn't accidentally set off a notification bell, announcing exactly how long they'd been staring. Consider, too, the geography of the like button itself, because this is where true tragedy lives. On some apps, it sits conveniently, tragically, right under your thumb's natural resting position, like a landmine planted by a designer who has personally never once had an anxious thought in their life. You are not clumsy. You are the victim of interface design. Somewhere in a glass building, a product team high-fived each other for making double tapping frictionless, blissfully unaware they had just engineered the single most efficient shame delivery mechanism of the 21st century. Frictionless for whom? Certainly not for the person now lying rigid in bed, doing the emotional equivalent of controlled breathing exercises over a decade-old vacation photo. There is also a bizarre secondary panic that kicks in almost immediately, which is the compulsive need to investigate how bad the damage actually is. You do not simply unlike the photo and walk away like a reasonable person. No, you scroll further, because now you need to know if you also like something else without noticing, some earlier casualty from this same reckless scrolling spree. This is the digital equivalent of checking every room in the house after you think you've left the stove on. Except instead of a stove, it's a photo of someone's dog from 2021. And instead of your house, it's someone else's meticulously curated online identity that you have now personally trespassed through twice in one evening. And let's not pretend the aftermath ends there, because it doesn't. For the next several days, you will check, unprompted, whether they've unfollowed you. You will analyze their story views with the forensic intensity of someone reconstructing a crime scene, searching for any sign that they know, that they've clocked it, that somewhere behind their casual, ha-ha reply to your last text lies the quiet, simmering knowledge that you were 3 years deep in their grid at midnight. Spoiler, they know. They have always known. Everyone always knows. The only person still pretending otherwise is you, several days later at your desk, still thinking about it during a meeting that has nothing to do with any of this. The modern version of getting caught red-handed isn't fingerprints or witnesses. It's metadata. It's a little heart icon with a timestamp attached. A tiny, cheerful, completely merciless snitch that will rat you out faster than any human ever could. You could get away with staring at someone across a room for 10 minutes. You cannot get away with liking their photo from 2023, because the platform itself was built, quietly and without your consent, to make sure you never, ever get away with anything. And here's the part that stings the most. You will do this again. Not tonight. Maybe not this week. But there will be a night, some slow, boring Tuesday, where curiosity gets the better of you, your thumb gets a little too confident, and somewhere out there, another small red heart is going to light up on a photo that has absolutely no business being looked at 11:47 p.m. by you, specifically. It is 11:47 p.m. Your thumb is doing 40 miles an hour down a stranger's Instagram grid, and you have never in your life felt so calm and so doomed, because deep down, you already know exactly how this ends, and you're going to do it anyway.